Hi there! Welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the studio and we're just gonna talk about our 2025 garden plans, specifically our annual order. Now, I tend to order quite a few annuals, but not enough to put in an order and like get a pallet of plants or anything like that. So I make these plans with the idea that I'm going to go to a nursery and I might not get those exact plants, but I at least have a color palette and a good idea of the plants that I want. So I've been buying annuals for the summer garden. This will be my 4th season. And I tried them because in the past I've done annuals, petunias, calibrachoa, impatiens, geraniums, these things, and they just didn't perform really well in my garden. I don't get very warm here. The average summer temperatures where I live is like 60 to 65 degrees during the day, and then it goes down to like maybe 55 or 58 at night. So we don't get cold, we don't get hot, and we do have a lot of moisture, especially in the spring. So we really only have like 2.5 months of 65-degree weather, and that doesn't really speak to hot weather, sun-loving annuals that need a lot of heat, need a lot of sun, need, a longer growing period. So I have to be really strategic in the types of annuals that I grow. And I have discovered that the proven winner annuals perform so well in my garden, like hands down the best. And so we've played with lots of different types of petunias. They have super petunias and super petunia vistas, and they have mini vistas, and then they have super bells, and those are all their types. The super bells are basically their calibrachoas, and their super petunias are all petunias. And then we've played with lots of different things. We have lots of shrubs and trees and perennials from proven winners, and they're all really fantastic. But today I really want to just talk about our annuals. So last year I did all pink and yellow annuals, and every year I choose a theme of the year because I like to do something new and different, try different types of plants, and really just change the look of the garden. And it's really easy to do that with annuals because it's basically like putting on a different dress. It's just like doing your hair a little bit differently. It's just gives the everyday look something new. So last year my theme was strawberry lemonade. Everything was in pink and yellow. I didn't really care about what shades, if they were light, dark, bright, just pink and yellow, whatever shade it was. Turned out really well, super fun. We did like 1 plant per pot type of a deal. So one pot would have bright pink, and one pot would have light yellow, and one pot would have like a light pink and then a dark yellow, and just, I just played with it like that. And so there wasn't any mixes really. I think maybe our deck pots had 2 things going on. I think they maybe had a yellow and a pink calibrachoa or super bell, if I remember right, and then a super beanut as well. Anyhow, mostly it was just like 1 color in each pot. This year, our annual plant plan is all about hot tropical colors, and I was inspired to do this like hot rainbow, right? So it's just gonna be like hot pink, bright yellow, dark saturated pinks, saturated purples, red, orange, all the hot colors. And I'm doing it because this winter, I'm going to Mexico. And then in the fall, we're planning on going to Hawaii. So it's our whole year is about these like hot tropical spaces that we're going to be immersing ourselves in. And I wanted to like bring that into my home and get really excited about the year. And so that's where we're going. And I have planned out the garden, and we're going to mix things up, and we're going to do some fun things. So in the backyard, we have 3 long rectangle beds, and we have 2 2x2 boxes and 3 large containers, round containers, and then we have 2 deck boxes, and we'll be installing a butterfly garden, and all of those are going to have annuals. So what that's going to look like is in our 2x2 boxes, I'm going to do just straight up yellow or pink, and then we're going to grow celosia, and my celosia is already yellow and pink, so I'm going to just do whichever is available at the nursery that I go to, either a giant pink or some type of a yellow, whether it's a mini vista yellow or a saffron finch. It doesn't really matter to me. But both the same, not one pink and one yellow. They're going to be both pink or both yellow. And then in the raised bed in front of that, directly in front of that, we will have a whole bunch of different color zinnias that I'm growing from seed. And then in front of that is a lower profile rectangle bed, and we'll be growing Paradise, which is a Vista, a Supertunia Vista Paradise. And we just put 1 in each one of those beds. They get huge, like 30 inches across, and they trail, and they're beautiful, and they're multicolored. So we're just going to do a Paradise in each one of the rectangle beds, and we're going to do Bermuda Beach in the larger containers. And then up on the deck boxes, I'm going to do mini vistas, and we're going to do a lemon slice and probably ultramarine along with the pink cashmere superbena. And then along the butterfly garden that we are going to install, I haven't decided, but I'm kind of thinking lovey-dovey, which is a pink and white stripe, which is really fun and like tropical to me. It's just like bright and cheerful. And then in the moon garden, we've talked about the moon garden plans already, but just as a, as I'm planning out my annuals, the annuals that are going to go in there are going to be white impatiens, proven winter impatiens, which are much larger than the impatiens that I grow from seed. And then I already have all of my double up white begonias, my diachondra silver falls, but I will be buying Wicked Witch coleus, and I'm going to be growing black pansies for that garden. And then we will be picking up some more impatiens for the lower gardens. The mermaid garden and the shade garden are both mostly in shade. And I'm going to do white and pink impatiens down there, the proven winter ones, because I mean the flowers are huge on them, and they just show up so great in the shade. Then in the front yard, we have 4 really big cement containers, and they're going to be completely changed out this year. Right now we have some other plants in them. We're going to be stripping them out. We're going to be moving them in different locations, and I just want to do annuals in them for this summer. And we're going to do bubblegum Supertunia, so they're kind of a lighter pink but huge impact. And I mean, these things get huge, like 36 inches across. They're amazing. And then we'll do a blue salvia. We have a lot of trouble growing salvia here. They get attacked by slugs like right away. Like I think they're just standing around waiting for me to put a salvia in, because they don't last more than 2 days in my garden. So I'm going to try to put salvia inside the containers, and we're going to put copper around the bottom of the containers to help prevent slugs from going up in them, and they'll be up higher and easier to look at, and hopefully we'll be able to you know, get enough Sluggo on there and get in those pots every day and see if there's any slug activity. And I think once the salvia is big enough, those leaves are hairy enough that the slugs won't maybe get to them or want to get to them. But man, when they're babies and I put them in the ground, I just cannot grow them. So we're going to try putting them in containers. So we'll have the bubblegum super petunias, and then we'll do a Rockin' the Blues salvia. It's like a blue-purple salvia. And then I'm going to grow yellow cosmos, which are really airy and pretty, in those containers, as well as, if I can get my hands on it, I really want to do the cherry burst superbenas, which is the Proven Winners verbena. They're shorter than like the medicinal verbena that like shoots way up into the sky. They're like short and compact with a beautiful flower power. The cherry burst is red and white, which is super fun. If I can't find the cherry burst, I'm hoping I can at least find the red. So that we'll have the red and pink and blue and yellow all in one container. And then in the wooden barrels, the fake wooden barrels, the plastic wooden barrels that we have all of our tulips and daffodils in right now, we will put super petunias in them in the summertime. And those are really just going to be like walk around the garden or the nursery and pick out some hot colors that look good together. And I want to do 2 different colors in each one of those. I'm kind of thinking a bicolor, 2 bicolor, so that'll be 4 colors in one container. I think that'll be really fun. And then I'm going to do a couple of urn-shaped containers that will have amaranth that I grow from seed, but I'm going to underplant it with Mini Vista Star, and that might be a pink or it might be a purple, whatever I could get my hands on, but one of they're white with a pink or purple stripe on them. And then in the hanging baskets off of the deck, I'm going to do a orange and yellow super bell, along with a what is it called? A cobalt superbena, which is like a really dark purple, considered blue in the landscape industry, which drives me crazy because almost none of them are blue. It's called cobalt, but it's just like this saturated purple. So they'll be orange and yellow with like a purpley blue feather over the top of it. And then in the rail baskets that are placed below those hanging baskets, I'm going to do an orange begonia with yellow mini vistas and the cobalt blue verbena. So I'm really hoping that the nurseries I go to have a big selection of the different types of verbena. I typically pick up all of my annuals at Godfrey's nursery, but I want to also look at Bauman's nursery this year. We've never been there before, so we will do a tour of both those nurseries when we go. But I'm thinking he might have a different selection, so I'm looking forward to going there and seeing what he has. Then we're going to do some in-ground annuals as well, and I'm probably going to just do jazzberry on the in-ground annuals around the front yard, and then out what I call the estate garden, which is basically the corner of our property with the up the street that goes along the side of our property. We usually do a little annual display there, like estate gardens do. You know, when you walk into or you drive into a beautiful estate and they have like a big annual display. That's kind of the feel that I'm going for there. And this year I want to do a real red super tunia, a jazzberry, and a saffron finch, and just kind of mix them all together. I'll probably have like 7 or 9 of those and just like have a big riot of color over there. And then the new rectangle-ish raised beds that we did out front that right now have tulips in them, and then we will be planting dahlias in them. I also want to have that mid-season bright color, so we'll be doing a Picasso super tunia in those, and the Picasso is like a deep fuchsia with a green ring around the edge. Those are the main ones, but we're also doing some standalones, and there's some hoopla gonna go in there. There's some lemon slice going in a couple of places, like just like little pockets of spaces that I love putting bright pops of color, and those will just be like single plants, just bright color. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is I've done reds in the garden before, and they do not like to be overhead watered or rained on. They turn brown and it's ugly. So there's only 2 places that I'm going to put red and try it, and those places will have drip irrigation next year. So I'm hoping that with the water coming from underneath and not so much from overhead watering, we'll just have a little bit better success, but it's all really just going to depend on how rainy of a summer we have. So I didn't want to rely on the reds for petunias and super bells very much. I will have other reds in the garden through the year, because I do want that red in there, because it is, you know, part of that hot tropical color palette, but just not in those particular flowers. So we'll be doing red ranunculus, red zinnias, we've got red tulips in there, red dahlias, all those types of things. There will be red out there, just not so much in the petunia area. But yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing. It's just going to be so much fun to have all this like super bright, hot tropical colors, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks in our garden, and I can't wait to bring you along with the whole journey. I hope that you are subscribed so that you are notified every time I post a new video, which is almost every single day, and we will be ramping up all these plantings and these purchases in the very near future. Spring is right around the corner. I'm so excited to feel the heat on my skin again. I'm ready for it already. That's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.